Hi, welcome back. This is a brief video on updating existing children on the funding portal and adding hours to existing children and how to delete children. So any updates and deleting so forth we're going to cover. Just share the picture of the portal with you. So again, this is the home page. You can see here there's a message that's left me to remind me that I haven't submitted one of the funding claims. Now, if you don't submit it, you won't get the payment for it. So if you um, want to get your payment, make sure you submit it. So we're going back to the funding tab at the top that says funding. This opens up the summary, but we're going to go to the actuals where we're putting the claim. And here's our list. So the previous video, I added a new child, Jane Doe. It was a 15 hours universal. You can see here the number of hours I've claimed for the term. So it was 15 hours times 13 weeks because we did term time only. Here's the amount of funding you're expecting for this child. And again, exclamation mark because it has not been submitted yet. If you got to this point and you thought, oh, actually, this child only attended for 12 weeks and not 13 weeks, you can go back into it by undoing the claim with this circular arrow here, and then you can update it. What we are going to do is look at John Lane. So John Lane is a child that attended the previous term. So their details have been put forward onto this term. So we carry the information through from one term to the next. So that means you don't have to add all the children's details again. You don't have to put in the name and the date of birth and the address and the parents' details and so forth. But you do need to add the funded hours each term. So we're going to look at John Lane, just clicking. You can see a summary here. Again, we haven't put a claim in yet because this has been carried over, so there's no hours yet. We can click through the tabs though, make sure the child details are still correct, still the same name, there's the date of birth. Did you check to make sure the date of birth is correct? Check the proof, tick that. Ethnicity hasn't changed, they still have no special educational needs, and they haven't moved address. So you're fine with that. If they have changed addresses, you'll need to update it. Next tab is the parent care details. Again, we do suggest via your parent agreement form, you ask permission to check for the early years pupil premium, which will bring additional funding to help support the learning in your setting. You will need to put the parents' details in order for us to do that check. And again, we check that every term, and you will get paid if the child can access the early years pupil premium. We will automatically add that payment to your funding for the term. So the next tab is the funding details. So we'll look at this. Again, these are default term dates, but as I said, it's best if you can put in the actual attendance dates for this child. So you can update those. So again, I am putting in details saying this is a term time only child. These are the dates. They were there for 13 weeks, so we're going to leave that. They were present during census. So again, check that census head count week on the paperwork that's sent out to you before the beginning of term. We talked about the Disability Access Fund. We're not stretching entitlement. We'll do a separate video on that. Universal hours. This child's doing 15, so you add that in. No extended hours, so that's 0. You can tick which days of the week they attend. We'll say Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and this child doesn't attend any additional hours, for example. If they did, you could add those in as well. We have no documents to add and no notes we want to leave, so I'm going to save that. So we can see we've got two, one new child, unsubmitted claim, and then the second child who's not new, was there the previous term, unsubmitted claim. We can now send those claims, and we can see green across the dot, submission successful. If you missed something that needed to be added, one of the asterisk boxes, you would get a message across the top to tell you what you needed to do. We can see here that these are now awaiting local authority download. So we go through those claims. If we're happy with them, we will process them. Then you'll see that the next time you come in. All right, so that's all you need to do. As long as it's awaiting local authority download, you know you've submitted them. Okay. If now you've done that and you think, oh no, actually, John Lane didn't return, he isn't at my setting, I need to delete them. Perhaps you did the claim by mistake. So you could undo the claim by pressing this round arrow. Confirm undo. Are you sure you want to undo your changes? So do you want to get rid of that claim? Yes. Okay, so now we see John Lane. It's gone back to no hours claimed. You're thinking, well, I'm not claiming for John Lane, perhaps because he actually left the setting and hasn't come back this term. So you press this X to the left of their name. It'll ask you, it's request and delete. Are you sure you want to delete this child? So yes, this child, it says delete requests are automatically submitted, but can be cancelled. So we're going to submit. So again, it's awaiting local authority deletion. So when we go to process the claims, we will then delete that child. If the child gets deleted and then you think, oh no, I need to add them back, you can do them, just add it like a new child and put their details in again. So that summarizes updating and deleting children. If you have any questions or concerns, or you've done something and you're with the portal, you can always contact us, ask us questions, and we will update you on that. So I hope you found that bit useful and helpful. Sorry. And